So recently, the Kriegers, Jeff Haslam and Amy, went, not my Amy, his Amy, two Amy's, so four of us went. Paul, Jeff, Amy. We went to Bermuda on a cruise together, and we found ourselves in need of a cab on the way back to the boat. And Jeff, you tell this story, because you were up front with the cab driver. You tell this story so much better than I do. I'm just going to let you kind of take it from here.
Before Jeff starts, I do want to point out that this particular cab driver, there were some cabs like waving us to come their way, and we were just kind of standing there because we didn't really know.
If you drive a cab and you wave me to come down to you,
like across another street, and
I'm paying
this
you.
This guy pulls a Yui in the middle of the road, gets in front of this other cab to pick us up. So I think the other cab drivers weren't happy with him, but we were like, "Thank you for coming and getting us."
Yeah,
like
we didn't think anything of it. The fact that he pulled a Yui and just really wanted us in his cab. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so traveling with the Kriegers is a whole new experience because they're way more trusting than I am. I don't know if it was my cop instincts from the olden days or what, but we're in this guy's cab, and it was fine. We're driving. He's very pleasant to talk to, and somehow we got on the subject of rum swizzles, which is one of my favorite drinks, being the national drink of Bermuda. And he looked at me, and we hadn't introduced ourselves at this point or anything. And he looked at me, he says, "I don't know your name, but I'm just going to call you Jeff." Which should be red flag number one, right? And I'm like, "Well, that is actually my name." And he goes, "You really like rum swizzles? I thought that was a Bermuda thing." I'm like, "I drink them at Disney World all the time." He goes, "Bear with me." And he pulls off the road at this gas station on the side of the road. Meter's still running. He says, "Don't worry about the meter. I got this." And he goes into the gas station. And I'm looking at these guys. I'm in the front seat. They're all in the back seat. I'm like, this is how we die. Sex traffic. We're getting kidneys taken. I don't know, but we're like, the guy just bailed. Comes back, opens his trunk, and serves us rum swizzles that he bottles himself right there in Bermuda and sells at the liquor stores down there. Serves it to the group of us, which I still maintain that this conversation that we're having right now could be a drug-induced roofie dream. And we're all actually dead and in pieces and parts in Bermuda because the random taxi guy just, "Here, have this out of my trunk." And we're like, "Okay."
Yeah, he went to the gas station to get coffee cups.
Yeah,
to
he
serve the.
Yeah, and we had no problem. We just guzzled that right down.
No, to be clear, I just stuck my tongue in it.
You were going to save all of us if there was a problem.
So you do know that's why all the other cab drivers were trying to flag you down. They're like, "Don't get in the car with him. Don't do it."
It was seriously stranger danger. We joke about, because we're trying to get Derek on the Skyliner, right? And Panda's like, "Come on the Skyliner." And I'm like, "Panda, every time you say that, he's going to be busy. You got to pull up in a blacked out van with free beer plastered on the side. Derek will just get in, and then we'll take him on the Skyliner." It was the same scenario.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show. I am grateful to have survived that story that we started the show with, and joining you this week with my lovely wife, Amy Krieger. We've got John Sakari, aka Big Fat Panda, with us.
Welcome home, everyone.
Free beer, Derek DeBoer.
Hey now, where did this rum swizzle come from?
Use that same cup in two shows in a row. That your props are not on point this. And Jeff Haslam, who was the cop that tried to save us, but we drank the rum swizzle instead.
Does anybody notice that the cup that he's drinking out of is from the Fun Spot? I didn't think anybody actually went there.
I didn't either.
Going to say, this was, my son went with his friends a couple of weeks ago, had a great time. So the park was super clean. There was no wait. The price couldn't be beat. It was like a friend's birthday party or something. He loved it. And he came back with this glass that's filled with sparkling seltzer water.
One of my goals in life is to get Derek to start an X or Twitter page, essentially, to just live tweet when he is at the parks, because the thoughts that he sends us while he's walking through theme parks and waiting in lines and sweating and you name it, it's just absolutely amazing, and the internet would love it. There are certain things the internet unfortunately never sees that they would love to see.
He blames talking in line, texting while he's in line. I blame beer. because the texts get worse as the day goes on.
No, we hope not. Shut up.
Well, we thank you all who are listening and watching our show for putting up with our ramblings. There's some of you that don't like it, and I changed the channel. I don't know, but it just kind of shows you how much we love each other and we spend time with each other outside of doing this fun thing every once in a while. So
actually, can I say something really quick on that very note?
Sure.
I should have screenshot it, but I ended up blocking them on Instagram. But I did get an Instagram yesterday. I forgot to tell you guys this. I was driving. This is hilarious. I got a text from some random person not one of my friends that said, Derek has helped me with DVC a lot. You need to be nicer to him. I just want to go on record and say that I give Derek a lot of crap, but it's because I only make fun of the people I like. If I don't make fun of you, you probably should question it. We really do like each other. He's over here. We really do.
Yeah. It's
I
like
told my wife not to text him. Jeff, I apologize.
This week's show, if you actually want real conversation, is all about why Disney Vacation Club members love the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival, and more so, just kind of the entire fall season in general. It is probably the most popular time, if you are a Disney Vacation Club member, to come down here to Walt Disney World. And I know that we always tried to time one of our trips around this season, and it's also one of the hardest times to get a room, and we'll get into that a little bit more later in the show. But as always, this and all of our content on DVC Fan is brought to you by the World of DVC, DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract, Monera Financial, if you're looking to finance a DVC resale contract purchase, and the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some points, or rent out your own points. And if you do find yourself still looking for maybe a food and wine reservation or a last minute reservation, DVC Rental Store does have confirmed reservations for rent, and there are some confirmed reservations that still fall within the time frame of food and wine. So if you get through with this show and suffer through it and really still want to go to food and wine, then there you go. DVC Rental Store. Did I do that right? Am I good?
Way to sell it, Paul. Good job.
Anytime. So we thought that with the news of the food booths coming out recently for the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival, and the fact that as this show goes up, the Food and Wine Festival will actually start this coming Thursday, August 29th, that it was a good time to kind of talk about what we love about the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival, why so many Disney Vacation Club members love it and come down here this time of year. And we do plan to go, I think, hopefully on opening day to the Food and Wine Festival. This is the first time that we have actually gone on opening day to the Food and Wine Festival. So it should be an absolute zoo. And I'm going to try to convince Derek to go. And Panda, Jeff, if you're available, come join us. We'll have a good time.
August 29th?
August 29th. We have a photo shoot that morning, actually, for DVC Resale Market. And then we're going to head over and eat some food. Have a good time.
That'll be fun.
Should be a good time. But I feel like I'm tired of talking. Do you love the Food and Wine Festival, Amy?
I do. I did. I just did an article for DVC Fan of kind of our top picks or the things that we're most excited about. So I got a pretty firm grasp of the menu. There are a lot of new booths this year, which I was really excited to see. Unfortunately, there are some that are not back, and someone had pointed that out on DVC Fan, and then I realized, there's no Ireland anymore. So Fisherman's Pie, the warm chocolate cake from Ireland, those are no more. There is an Irish milkshake on another menu. But anyways, there are some really, really exciting things. And then there's some old favorites that are back as well. But
we're going to go through a little bit of a speed round of just some of the food that Amy has pointed out that she would love to eat at this year's festival. And if you guys have any thoughts on any of this, chime in as well as we kind of go through this. But yes, Mr. DeBoer.
I can tell you that we just went to EPCOT by the time this show airs, it'll be a couple of weeks ago. We just went during the week, during the evening with just me and my wife and my son, who's going back to Florida State. And it's so strange because it was one of those rare times during the year where there's no festival at EPCOT. So the whole park just feels weird because there's, I think last count, 37 different festivals that like run throughout the whole entire year. It was so strange, like walking around on like the World Showcase Promenade and seeing the food booths there, but they're not open. So I love having festivals back. I feel like that's when EPCOT is kind of most alive, and I know we'll kind of delve into it. But yeah, it just felt off not having a festival there. Weird.
Yeah. Okay, so there we have the new Communicore Hall. So with that comes 2 new food booths that will be inside. Well, it says location Communicore Hall, so that could be inside or outside of it. But
I really do hope this first one is inside, because this is my biggest complaint about Food and Wine is that some of these dishes, and I'll just put it up now, some of these dishes in August.
Oh, there's more that are you're gonna have to wait until it's cooler.
In August in
outside.
Florida, this is just not what I scream to try. But if this is indoors in Communicore Hall,
right?
Yeah, I
I'll
agree.
change my mind.
Yeah. So this is one of the new booths. It's called Macatizers. Of course.
Macatizers.
Macatizers. And so we have 4 different mac and cheeses. You've got traditional, you've got an impossible chili one if you want plant-based, you've got truffle, but the one I'm most excited about is the cheesesteak macaroni and cheese. It's got beef and peppers and onions, and so it's kind of like a Philly cheesesteak in a bowl, basically. But I thought that was a really cool little new booth. Cute little name there.
You know what I wish that they did? And first of all, kudos to the Disney person that came up with Macatizers. So I'm sure they got great. I think it'd be cool for a booth like that, like they do at that fry place, is to have like a flight of mac and cheese. Like, because all those are good, but I would like just a little bit of each of the mac and cheeses. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Remember how Amy said about the size? You can't tell from these pictures. These might just be a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
These already might be flights already.
So this is what makes me think this is indoors. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 or 5 different beers at this. There's multiple wines at this booth. There's beer flight. There's a wine flight. So a lot of drinks here.
Do you think they might be using the already there booth, the quick service that's there?
Yeah, I think that was part of why they chose to actually build that building and kind of have some of this, because the next booth is actually called Festival Favorites, which I think that was part of the concept of Communicore, was to kind of not only during festivals, but actually outside of festivals a little bit, feature some quick little bites. So like for those people that absolutely love that, neither of these things are this, but the people that loved the Guinness shake that used to be at Ireland, this is going to be...
They have that, the Irish milkshake. The frozen s'mores, that was always at one of the festivals, and it was always good. It's a non-alcoholic drink. That's going to be here. These are the 2 food dishes. It's a kielbasa pierogi thing. It does look really good. I was excited about the pimento cheese, but I don't know how I feel about barbecue pork rinds.
Okay with the pork rinds, but the cheese kind of looks like cat food.
It doesn't look like cheese. It really doesn't look like cheese.
But
that's
it might
because
taste
it's
better.
pimento cheese. It's pimento cheese. That's literally what pimento cheese looks like.
It's a little off in
Not
color.
from Boathouse.
It's
I've
a little
ordered
off in
pimento cheese
color.
from Boathouse. It doesn't look like that.
So that was in Communicore Hall. This is at Connection. So we also have, some of the normal places that have some additional menu items. It's a Korean barbecue chicken sandwich with pickled cucumbers. It looks delicious. And then that beverage, I don't know how you pronounce it, but blackberry, Paul, any idea? Kiparaska? So it's basically vodka, lemonade, strawberry and blackberry syrup, frosted mint syrup. It looks delicious.
It does.
Kaiparoska.
Is that really how you say it?
Yes.
Oh, well, then there you go. Thank you,
He
Derek.
muted himself and had Siri tell him.
I have no idea if that's correct. It just sounded good.
The lobster tail at Coastal Eats. Didn't we just have a lobster tail at a more recent festival?
I thought we had a lobster tail for, what was it, Flower and Garden?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I
so
think
they
it was Festival of the Arts, I thought.
Must have sold well for whatever festival it was there
Right,
for.
because this looks very, very, very similar. Coastal Eats is over by Mission Space. They have, just it's seafood, so lobster tail, shrimp cocktail, couple of drinks. I have no idea what a pomegranate cotter is.
That's
it's
fine.
A beer.
I moved on to French fries because this is what everyone actually cares about.
Right.
That fry flight, ever since they brought that out, I have gotten that every single year.
Yeah. Yep. Now it's changed a little bit. So in the past it was like a salt and vinegar, wasn't it? Salt and vinegar fry. So they got rid of the salt and vinegar and replaced it with truffle.
They had the truffle before, I thought.
So the flight is the barbecue bacon, which I remember from before, the sweet potato casserole, which I thought was in the fry flight before, and then the truffle parmesan. So I thought the truffle parmesan was salt and vinegar.
Maybe it was the barbecue bacon that's kind of they've had for the past 2 years. I don't remember.
They definitely had the barbecue bacon.
They also have a yucca fry. It kind of looks good. The one thing that I will say about the fry basket is that it's a good size. Like, it's a lot of fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you do the flight.
It's definitely good value for like what you're getting at these festivals. This burger sounded good on paper, but the picture's not really screaming yum to me.
Oh, I think it looks good.
This is Flavors from Fire, which at least I still call it the corned beef corner route from the time that they had like a ESPN college football sponsorship. But on the right there is the smoked corned beef with house-made potato chips, cheese curds, pickled onions, and beer cheese fondue. Wow, absolutely amazing. But the new burger is a steakhouse blended burger. That's got to be the Impossible Burger that they have pictured there. So Impossible Montreal style burger with cheddar cheese, tomato jam on a sesame seed bun.
So that's not what's pictured. Yeah, because the steakhouse burger is beef and wild mushroom, truffle brie cheese fondue, arugula, truffle potato chips. So that is definitely the Impossible Burger. So.
Jeff, Panda, I feel like you're the pickiest eaters of this group. Have you seen anything yummy yet?
I would definitely try that Impossible one.
Yeah.
I would try the burger. Even though I'm not a big mushroom fan, I would probably try and gulp it down. I'm all about the mac and cheese. There's a couple of those that I would eat for sure. Yep. And there's other stuff that we haven't talked about that I've got my eye on. So
I want to know if any of you guys would try the swine brine that's also at
I think
Flavors
I tried
from
it
Fire.
last year.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Bourbon,
100%.
apple, cinnamon cider, lemon juice, and Dijon mustard.
Yep. I remember trying it. It's garnished with a bacon strip or something, if I remember correctly.
Oh. Do you remember if it was any good?
It wasn't bad. The next thing just confuses me. I'm glad that they're bringing this back, the Brewing Lab. I hope we talked about this previously on another show. I hope that they have the Muppets elements.
There's nothing that says anything about Muppets on here.
Don't tell that to the Muppets community. They're already heard enough as it is right now. But the fact that we brought... Disney probably made this decision based off of the fact that it sold so well last year because...
I think everyone who tried it last year is not... I'm not going to...
Well, we bought 5 last year so for multiple people to try, to taste test. And no one had a positive coming back for seconds on this one. So if there's any lesson here at Disney, it's going to be don't fully look at the financial results. This was a good, catchy thing, and you made everyone try it. And
right.
It
needed to be
one and done.
Yeah, it needed to be a different flavor that got people to try it again. You know what I mean? Instead of...
And we are talking about the green thing in the corner here, which is the pickle milkshake. So yeah, I won't be trying it again this year. I'm sorry. Well, this looks good in the heat.
So we've got Japan. I'm sorry. This isn't Japan. This is the Noodle Exchange, and it's actually near Disney Traders. So it's pretty much all ramen, except the shrimp thing is like a Thai shrimp rice noodle bowl, but it's broth. It's all brothy. So, and I didn't see. I read through the Disney Parks blog in the past. They had ones booths that didn't open until later. That wasn't noted on here, and they did shorten the festival a little bit from what it was last year. It's not starting until pretty much the last few days of August instead of
they
the
chopped
middle
off
of
about
July.
a month. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think that I think we're all booths are go on August 29th. So
That'd be cool.
this one it's definitely going to be hot. It's going to be outside. I would wait until we get to the cooler temperatures before we try this out.
I'm going to jump to one more here before we kind of move on a little bit, because I know we want to talk a little bit about the beverage options that are coming to the festival, but the festival in general, and also some other stuff. But I couldn't pass up maybe two more. First off, I couldn't pass up Italy because
Yeah, this is, as an Italian, I can tell you this is really Italian. I mean, nachos at Italy are so common. It's just, it's funny how we don't know it here in the States.
Make all the jokes you want. I'm eating it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I am too.
And Italy, I don't know that there's been a year that Italy has had the same two foods.
I've never loved the Italy booth, and I love Italian food.
Everything at this booth
it.
is new this year. Italian,
Yeah.
and they didn't even go with a fancy title, Panda. It's just called Italian style nachos.
Nachos in parentheses.
Nachos in parentheses. Homemade beef ragu, pasta chips, tomato sauce, and dried ricotta cheese. We've got and correct me if I'm wrong, Panda, the Pulpatine Toscana.
Yeah, Palpatine.
Yep.
Toscana.
Beef meatballs, rosemary focaccia, and pomodoro sauce, and then this vanilla cheesecake.
That looks good.
Vanilla cheesecake, whipped cream, fresh strawberry sauce.
It looks like there's a crunchy thing at the bottom, which makes me like the vanilla cheese.
Yeah, I'll just take extra of like the crust of the cheesecake.
Yeah.
And then to Amy's biggest disappointment,
I know.
the Flavors of America booth went all in with hot dogs.
It used to be more New England. They always had a lobster roll. They had a lobster roll for several years, but then they changed it to a crab roll. And I want to say, it might have been like a beef thing last year, but at some point you start get the festivals mixed up. But anyway, we're like full on hot dogs.
Wait, look at the one on the top right. It's really sad. No,
That's
looks like
that's Chicago
That's
dog.
a Chicago
I would tear
dog.
that up.
Yeah, Paul was probably very excited about that one.
Yeah.
it just looks like somebody at the last minute. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just going to put a pickle in it and a pepper. And
As someone that is very
Those are
as someone that is very German, I would go to this booth, get all three of these, head over to Germany, get the beer flight, and my day would be made. But Panda, since you drew our attention to the top right one here, which is the Chicago dog, the bottom left, and then if you go to just the left of the bottom left, Derek, what is that strange monkey on the couch behind you?
Is that a stuffed animal or a pillow with legs?
Oh, it's a stuffed animal. I can't remember where we got it, but we got it years ago, and I've successfully kept it away from our dogs. So, because if they would have found it, it would have been long.
the dogs are scared of it.
I try to, keep it safe.
That is on par with like the nanny chair at the boardwalk. Like
The dogs don't look at it and they're like,
But what it doesn't have is a name. So anyone that wants to provide a name, feel free to leave it in the comments. Anyone can name it, and whatever name we decide, it will be part of the show from now on.
I vote for this. I vote for Hey Now. His name is Hey Now.
Jeff, I had asked you to kind of take a look at some of the mixed drinks and cocktails from this year's menu, and I apologize. I'll try my best if there are any pictures to pull them up, but did anything stick out to you?
There's not a lot of new cocktails. There's a lot more new beer this year that we'll let this guy talk about.
Our resident beer expert.
But a couple old favorites are definitely back, but there is one new one that I am excited to try. It's in Japan. The Kyoho Grape Sour. Kyoho Black Grape Cocktail with Japanese vermouth and sochu. I'm not even going to try. Sochu. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but that sounds good in my ears. So I'm definitely going to be hitting up the Irish milkshake. That's one of my favorites. Always is.
And for the Disney Vacation Club fans out there, the Hawaii booth always has the Aulani Sunrise.
Yes. And that was the next one on my list, the Aulani Sunrise, and then the Mimosa Flight right next door. I never miss those. Those are so good. There's also one called a Fiery Dragon. I can't remember where I saw it though, so give me a second and I'll find it. It was right here in China. Citrus vodka, triple sec, guava nectar, and spicy hot honey syrup. I'm gonna try that for sure. I don't like spicy things.
This is not a cocktail, but you should have a photo of it. It should be the last picture. There is a caramel apple milkshake.
Oh, I saw that.
It's going to be at Sunshine Seasons. Yeah, so it's not alcoholic. It's so cute, isn't it? And it's gelato. Some things I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. Whipped cream, candy, apple, cake, and caramel drizzle. I need that. That looks amazing.
Yes, that looks good.
It looks like a nice, refreshing drink after your ramen.
Yeah, right. Speaking of desserts, in France, I think this was here last year, but the mango creme brulee was so good last year. That was one of my favorite things that we had last year. So
yes,
but I'm definitely going to be
and you compare that with your favorite snail croissant too. They have that back.
No, the snail croissant is gone. I'm pretty sure.
No. Well,
it's now something else.
Oh, it's different.
It's a different
It's very similar though.
It is the brioche escargot.
Oh, okay. So it's basically a snail brioche now. It's the same concept. Instead of being in a croissant, it's in a brioche.
Yes.
Which now that you say that, I need to edit my article.
There's more gooey snails in there.
It was going to be a croissant.
Now that we're in France, I missed this the first time through, but the cocktail is new in France as well that I'm absolutely going to have. Mm-hmm. Strawberry gin, cranberry juice, and Dole pineapple.
Say the name. Say the name, Jeff.
Cocktail au gin à la fraise. Fruit de la fruit.
Apologize to our French viewers.
I don't have a picture of this, but there is a new, well, I guess it's not new, so it must be from the years past, but the strawberry basil cocktail over at the UK beer cart looks good. It's a frozen drink, so it's
nothing says beer
pink
like
strawberry gin, elderflower liqueurs, ginger ale, strawberry and basil syrup. That looks interesting.
Well, speaking of beer, let's go to our resident beer expert, Derek DeBoer. Derek, is this your favorite festival because of all of the unique beer choices that come to EPCOT?
Yes. Because for those people that know me, I don't drink like hard liquor, so I don't like any kind of a cocktail. I really don't like anything like that. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm just a 100% beer guy. So the more unique the beer, the better. Meaning, I know it's hot and it's usually summertime, but I will look on every single menu when I walk by and say, is there an IPA? Is there a stout? Is there something different? So I don't like the super light ones. But like Jeff said, seeing the menu this time around was super exciting because I just go like straight to the beverage section. And if I see in parentheses where it says new, and I go, oh my God, it's fantastic. The only thing I will say, and you made fun of my props, is I feel like, because I've been going to these festivals forever, like a lot of our audience has, and they've seen it change over the years. They remember EPCOT when literally there was two festivals. You'd have Food and Wine Festival, and then you'd have Flower and Garden Festival, right? So it was always different in the early days because they would actually give you like a normal size portion. The only thing I don't like about the festivals is what you're paying to basically get a beer like the size of this. Like,
yeah.
Whereas I will literally just go to the countries themselves, like maybe go to Germany and just have a normal size beer for literally not that much more.
Wait. If they were all normal size, you wouldn't be able to sample as many.
Well, correct. That's why they changed it, because the festival used to literally be like stepping over bodies because people would just imbibe way too much. So, it was insane. Because you would literally get like this size at all of these booths. I mean, they were tremendous, like normal size beers. They were like $6 or $7. So yeah, it was definitely a different time. So I like the smaller ones. Sometimes the portions are a little, but it does allow you to try different types, which is what I'm excited about.
you guys know I'm not a big drinker, but I do like, Derek, there's a beer, and even Jeff might know this, or Paul, maybe even Amy. The grapefruit is it Schaffenhofer?
Schäferhofer.
Okay, it's grapefruit.
Favorite.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
That's the I could drink like
Yeah.
I'll be
So,
drunk when it's cold. When it's cold.
The grapefruit Schäferhofer. Speaking to Disney Vacation Club members, really quick, that this is available all over property. Derek will tell you you're drinking juice because it is.
Toddlers love it. Toddlers love it.
I wasn't even cool for a minute. Okay.
I love Schäferhofer.
But on property, like you're going to spend like $15 to $18 for one of these. If you are staying in a Disney Vacation Club property, do like Publix or Instacart or something like that and order to your room, because all of our local restaurant or all of our local grocery stores have this beer around here, and you'll pay $15 for a 4-pack. And you can have it in your room, sit on the balcony, and enjoy that beer.
Nice,
but the festivals also, year after year, and Amy's going to cry about this because I know she's not going to like it this year.
I know, I saw it. It's like lemon zest, isn't it?
So they always bring out a special version of the Schäferhofer for the festival in Germany. And this year it's like a lemon zest.
It's called lemon zest. Yeah, I'm not a big
That might be great, Amy. That might be good.
I'm going to try it because I really love Schäferhofer.
If there's lemon in a food, I have to hide it in there, because if Amy knows about it in the food, then she will not eat the food.
Oh,
but
really? That's funny because she likes grapefruit. You would think
I like the grapefruit one. I don't like real grapefruits though. Schäferhofer grapefruit is different. It's a sweeter, you know. They used to have the pomegranate one at the Food and Wine Festival. There's another flavor that's really good, and I can't think of it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The pear. The pear one was really good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
pear was
pear,
good.
Yeah.
You can also get the pomegranate one at your local Publix.
That's true too.
But not the pear one, Jeff. Not the pear one.
I've never seen the pear one outside of EPCOT.
No.
All right.
And it was so good. The wild cherry was pretty good last year, but
so lemon zest is the new one this year, but they do have the grapefruit as well if you want to overpay for that one.
So we kind of talked about food for a little while. That's the big sell here at EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. And Derek, you kind of hit on the past a little bit, and that was kind of something that I did want to touch on related to the festival, is things that we do miss related to the festival. Because to your point, this festival has changed a lot over the years. And I'll let you guys go. I'll give you mine real quick, which is that the Wonders of Life Pavilion used to be kind of the hub for the festival. And I also would say that they used to have 3 to 4 times the merch that they have now, as well as have specialty kind of seminars and things like that that were a part of this. And I drastically miss kind of that space being home to the festival and kind of just having all of those options related to it. I think it kind of went away when they took that building for the play pavilion that they'll never build, but it is what it is. But
EPCOT's complete now, Paul. It's complete now. So.
Complete. Are there any other reasons why maybe if someone does not like the food and wine or something that maybe they should avoid the festival, or potentially just something, again, that you miss about the festival from days of old?
I'm going to throw it out there right away, and every single person will agree with me. If you can avoid it, do not go on the weekends. I repeat, do not go on the weekends. I know it might be, it's Friday, it's Saturday night. You know what would be fun? Let's go drink around the world and have some food. Yeah, you and 80 million other people had the exact same idea, because that's when the locals will try to go, right? So you've got a mix of people that are on vacation. You've got all the local people. So I'm telling you, you will enjoy your festival time so much more. Again, if you can, go during the week. Again, World Showcase opens up at like 11. We've had such a great time getting there, literally like right at 11.
That's my favorite time to go too. At
you
11.
have lunch there instead of like dinner time, right? So you go, you have some snacks around lunch, go around World Showcase. There's no wait for the booths. So again, anybody that I've ever talked to that doesn't like the Food and Wine Festival, it's simply answered when I said, well, when did you go? And they're like, well, we were there at like 6:30 on like a Saturday. And it's like, okay, well, that's why you hated it.
It's just waiting in line. Yeah.
Avoid the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts about things from the past? Or Good, Pin.
Good.
My gripe with the whole festival is I really wish they would just add a few more tables. Sometimes you get your food and you can't do anything with it. And I just feel like that's a slap in the face that I can't, even to go to a garbage pail, it's all right. I just wish they would add something to make it a little bit easier to have a table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. They could definitely add
just
more.
Put more out.
More of
they
the
need to.
standing ones are fine. You know what I mean? Those wouldn't be hard, and there's plenty of space. The one thing that I miss, I don't know if I can say I miss it because I've never experienced it, but I think about it every year that the Food and Wine Festival comes around. I know, and I've said this before, so if it's a repeat, but they used to have this special breakfast
on the weekends
only at Chefs de France, and people would line up for it, and it was like this all you could eat croissants and just like French breakfast pastries and things like that, and it was just like a special thing that they did only for Food and Wine on certain days, and we saw it in action, but we didn't have a reservation at the time because we didn't know it existed.
There were no reservations, I believe. So
we should have just gotten in line. We just didn't know what we were doing.
Looking back on this, it was absolutely hilarious. It was the craziest rope drop situation I've ever seen at EPCOT. We were coming in the International Gateway. I think we were staying at Boardwalk or something. We were like, let's go over to the Boulangerie for breakfast and get something to eat there. And you want to talk about people power walking. Like, there were people
they were all going to Chefs de France.
And we were confused at first because, again, there's no rides back. This was before Remy. There were no rides back that way. And we're like, did we do something wrong? What happened? And then all these people like rush and line up at Chefs de France. And we're like, what is going on?
And, we said to ourselves, okay, we didn't know what we were doing.
This is when we were amateurs.
We were amateurs. But
I am not a runner. I am not a runner. But you said free croissants, all you can eat. I'm like, I'll be going fast too.
But it was all you can eat. Yeah, it was. I don't know how much it was, but it was.
You'd be watching me going, what is up with John? He's training, huh?
He's going to the croissant fest.
He's going to the croissant fest.
And so we said, okay, we missed out. So next year we are doing this. And then the pandemic hit and they never brought it back.
Gone.
Sad.
They lost their money on that one. That's why, probably.
It was all the croissants from yesterday. They're like, what are we doing with this? Hey, give to the people in the morning.
Whoa, there's so many people running to get the old croissants. That's a good idea.
What do we do? Hey, give it to them. They will know tomorrow morning. You see, no good. Yeah.
They're offending. I'm so sorry if you're French.
We've offended French people twice on this show now. So if you're playing the home game.
As long as they have a Swedish chef in the Muppets, I'm safe. So.
I've got one, Paul. It's not anything that we're missing from the past, but it is something that they do in California and maybe I'm wrong, so correct me if I am, but in California for their Food and Wine at California Adventure, you can get like a booklet, like a punch pass for a set price and then just have it stamped and you get whatever you want. Like,
and it's reasonably priced.
I wish we had that.
And you feel like you have a good value, but you're used to going to EPCOT, so you and your wife buy two, and then you've got way too many snacks for the day.
Yeah.
I know. We had to use them all. We had a hard time.
I still probably behind me in one of these bins have like snack tickets on the thing. So it's like a lanyard, and they have like little pull-off
You punch them out,
that you pull off. But
I wish they did that.
World does it, and it's not as affordable. It's actually really expensive, but you don't have to use it on the same day. Like you use it all season long, so that's really
I think
nice.
you could use these all season long too.
Okay,
we were there for 2 days. And so it was,
and even though this is, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, even though this is not the same, something you can kind of do to maintain a budget at the food festival is get one of those gift cards that have the little wrist thing on it. No.
I literally was waiting until you finished, so I wasn't sure what you were going to say. But I'm going to say one of the things that always makes me mental is you think that that's a great idea, right? So in that, main gift shop, the Connections gift shop, whatever it is, you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy this card. I'm going to put, I don't know, what do you want to put? Like 100 on it? Like 150? Whatever it is. Literally, you start going around, and by the time you hit like a certain amount of countries, you're like, wait a second, I'm only halfway through and the card's gone? my God, how much did you put on the card? Because it doesn't feel like you're spending money when you don't have to reach in each time and get your debit card. It's like, here, I got it. It's on my wrist. And they're like, there's no money left on it. You're like, oh God, I got to go add more money. So
Okay.
You weren't with us, but we did that last year, and it was fun. We each had a $50 gift card, and Paul challenged us to make it go as far as you could. That was actually a really fun thing.
You were within like 20 cents or something, weren't you?
Yeah, I did pretty good.
You did real good on that. So we might
I want to give an honorable mention to my favorite booth, Canada. I know it's hot, but that cheese soup, even when it's hot, and that filet mignon with the mashed potato, it's pretty good.
And that's when they don't change. Like it might change a little bit in like what's garnished and stuff, but
right, like the roll might be a pretzel roll, might be a brioche, but everything else remains.
But they still always have those two dishes because they're so well loved.
And
the problem is when it's 100 degrees.
I want to give a special shout out too, is that for those folks that have been to the festival in the early days, I love having at least a few booths up in the Future World area. There never used to be those. So for the longest time, when you want to go to a festival, you've got to wait right here, and you got to either start in Mexico or you got to go to Canada. That's where they first started. So I like having, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 different booths that are right there.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, it could be.
Test Track used to have a booth right over there, and there was a couple more.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, because everybody wants to load up on seafood and then go ride Mission Space. So that's what they're doing.
We're going to do that $50 challenge this year, and Derek's going to be with us.
August 29th. All right.
Yeah, and you're going to watch Derek have like 3 beers and say, well, I'm done.
That's it?
I'm going to buy Amy her Schufferhofer for us.
Derek, I think you will be surprised because I think the recent festivals have kind of been a happy medium between what you want and what they've done previously. So I've seen them starting to offer like 5 ounce pours and 8 ounce pours.
Yeah.
So you do have the option if you want a larger beer to have a little bit, but not the mega mug size that you had there.
Yeah.
Well, and most of the booths have flights too. So if you're somebody that likes to try multiple things, that's my thing. I love the cider flight. I love the beer flights. Mimosa flight.
Cider flight. That's my jam. Yeah.
Another big part of the EPCOT International Food Wine Festival are the Eat to the Beat concert series. And if you want to learn a little bit more about Jeff Haslam, Jeff went last year and saw Tiffany, I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong.
We went twice. We went
to Tiffany?
No. Once was Tiffany. Yeah, and then we went.
Is she? I think we're alone now.
Yes.
Yep. And that was the weird thing about Tiffany is that was actually my second concert I ever went to. I was like 8 years old. My mom took me because she was everybody had a crush on her when they were my age back then, and so I was like, oh, I want to go and revisit my childhood. She was plugging this new album that nobody had ever heard, so it was like 9 songs of nothing and then ended with I Think We're Alone Now, and then she walked off stage. I was like, well. But we also saw Boys to Men last year, and we did the dining package for both.
Very cool.
Would you say that the dining package is worth it?
I think it depends on who you're going to see and how popular they are. Boys to Men usually is one that sells out, so it was nice to have that dining reservation. It was only like $10 extra from what we would have paid, so for us that was worth it. Tiffany would have been no problem getting into, so we probably didn't.
She's alone. She's alone now.
She thought she was alone now, and she was right. I'm just kidding. I love her. It just anyway. I think it's worth it if it's somebody. It doesn't look like the concert has changed a lot. There's not a lot of new.
Yeah, a lot of the same.
Hanson, Boys to Men, Tiffany,
Joey Fatone,
and friends.
Hanson is back.
98 degrees.
After D23, I would buy a dining package if John Stamos just did a concert on his own.
Just to talk, even. Yeah,
that was so rad.
Huge. That would be awesome. So again, another big part of the festival and just the festival atmosphere is that moving away from the festival, this show is titled, why DVC members love the EPCOT International Food and Wine Festival. But I wanted to broaden this a little bit more into why people actually just love, as a Disney Vacation Club member, to come down here this time of year. There's so much going on and so much to get into. I mean, we were frequent travelers in the fall.
Oh yeah, I love the decor in Magic Kingdom and Disney Springs. Just that fall, especially since now we live here. We don't get fall, like we did in North. So I got to go to Disney and see those, those leaves, even if they're not real. I gotta get my fall fix there, but it gives you that feeling. And then you got the Halloween parties, and you've got special foods outside of the festival. You've got special, fall treats and Halloween treats and things like that. That are very exciting. And this is nothing to do with what we're talking about, just a little, but they finally made a version of the Mickey pumpkin wreath that hangs up at Magic Kingdom, and they sold them on Shop Disney, and there was a huge queue, and I think most of us got one. Jeff, you got one, right?
We did. Yep.
And our friends Dan and Jeff got one, and we got one. And now they're in the store. They're in the actual
readily available.
Yeah, readily available. People say they're expensive. I think they're $75. But I would tell you what, as someone who has shopped for wreaths, like normal wreaths for the front door, wreaths are a good wreath is very, very expensive. And I have a wreath hanging on our door right now that I paid $100 something for. So $75 for that Mickey wreath, really not as bad as you would think when you go and shop for actual, wreaths.
It's pretty tiny, right? Though, it's much tinier than what's in the park.
It's obviously, it's definitely tinier than what's in the park. But what's in the park is huge. Like, those are huge.
On your front door, Panda.
Yeah.
Well, the Mickey face just looks tiny, like this big.
It's pretty good size. I'd get it out right now, but
during our purchase of these, though, if you really want a good time, go to Amazon and look up fall Mickey wreath, because there is one on there. It's a beautiful picture, but then go to the reviews and check the photos. And let's just say that it's
I found the photo on a Facebook group.
Let's just say it's not quite what you would expect it to be. But I agree with what Amy said, about just being down here in the fall. And I would add to this, we mentioned fall, Halloween. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party is going on. If you are in or around the parks, and on Friday the 13th, Friday, September 13th, if you see a tall Frankenstein-like creature walking around Magic Kingdom, that may or may not be Derek DeBoer. So this whole crew is going to the Halloween party together, and I can only imagine the hilarity that will ensue from that trip. So we're excited. We haven't done something like that big since, well, we did Summerfest, but it was a blast when Derek did his first Moonlight Magic ever.
Nice. Was just going to say, you haven't lived until you've been to a Magic Kingdom private party and seen Frankenstein digging into a backpack to find a bucket hat. So I'm just kidding.
Maybe it should be Frankenstein, and Frankenstein just wears the bucket hat the whole night. That'll make you even more recognizable.
Okay, just because you were talking about it, I don't know if this is going to work, but I have to show this. So if you go on Amazon and you buy this, which, by the way, it has a 1-star review, which is
it looks good on the picture. It
doesn't look terrible. I'll give you that. This, I was on a message group on Facebook.
Oh no!
And someone had bought it. You gotta get.
Is it like Wish or Temu?
Oh my gosh, I just can't even.
Was it super small?
And they even tried. That's what's sad, is they tried. The person who delivered this didn't think they were delivering an inferior product.
Nope.
That looks like a picture from the food booth at Italy.
That Mickey had too many nachos.
So you can waste your money on that, or you could spend the $75 and get. And if you bought it in the Disney store and you had an annual pass or DVC discount, it would be cheaper. I wish I would have waited, but I didn't think it'd be available.
Derek, Panda, Jeff, this is more your jam. I can't talk tonight. Jam than Amy and I's. But another reason a lot of Disney Vacation Club members come down here is to stay at their Disney Vacation Club property, but go to Universal and experience Halloween Horror Nights. Tell us a little bit about that and why people should definitely do that while they're here.
Listen, so I love everything about Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. And I love Mickey's Not So Scary because it's cute and it's fun in the music and you get shovelfuls of candy. But I like to be scared. I like scary movies. And so Halloween Horror Nights at Universal is such a great experience. It's expensive and I can't stress this enough. You have to get the front of the line if you're only going one night because you will not 100%. It doesn't matter if it's during the weekend, whatever. You will not get into all the haunted houses. And there's 10. Each year there's 10. This year they've announced Insidious, Ghostbusters, and I can't remember the other one. I'll look it up and it'll come to me. But yeah, 10 haunted houses and scare zones throughout, plus the rides are open. And this all happens at Universal Studios, not Islands of Adventure. But it's just such a great time. It runs from like 6 p.m. to 1 in the morning, 3 or 4 times a week. So I don't know. We love it. Love it.
2 things scare Jeff: Halloween Horror Nights and rum swizzle from the back of a cab.
The first one isn't so bad.
Building on what Jeff said.
A Quiet Place is the other.
Quiet Place. Yeah. Like we'll all go to Mickey's Not So Scary. We'll have a great time, but there's something about being with your friends at Halloween Horror Nights and being like vulnerable, like where your friends see you get really scared. It is funny. And for me, I am scared. It is an adrenaline rush. It is a fun. I always come out of it thinking didn't want to do it, but I love it afterwards. Just love it.
I love it. I love it so much for the exact same reasons that you guys said. And I'm not necessarily the biggest Universal fan, right? So, I mean, this is the one time of year that I go to Universal. This is like Jeff said, this is when I buy a ticket for me and my brother and for my son who's coming. We always have to buy the Express. Just so you know, I think the Express Pass this year, we're going on Saturday, October 5th, was $230 just for the Express Pass. Wow. And you have to buy a Universal ticket on top of it. But like Jeff said, if you're going to go once, you've got to get the Express Pass. You have to, because you will be able to not only pound out every single haunted house there is and breezing by the people, because my son, before he went to college, would buy kind of an annual pass. So that's where him and his friends would literally hang out on the weekends. But he would come back at, the next day and I'd say, hey, how was it last night? He'd be like, we got to do one house. I'm like, yeah, but you were here for like 3 hours. And they're like, yeah, I know, but it's fine. So we just hung out. When you're old like me, I ain't got time to wait 3 hours for anything. So get me in, get me out. And like Panda said, Mickey's is cute. I mean, it's fun. And you see people with their families and they're all dressed up. This, if I could literally put on like Patreon, you should film me walking through a haunted house. Because I am literally the guy that walks like this. And when they jump out, I curse quietly to myself, but I flail my arms and I scream, knock it off, knock it off. I've had people behind me in a house have said after we left and say, can we just follow you around for the rest of the night?
Yeah.
We just want to be behind you in every house because I just love the thrill of it. I get nervous, I get excited, but it's a fun kind of scared. So I cannot wait. I love it.
I agree.
I saw a video of Panda before going through it. Did you have a video?
A few of them, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't curse quietly though. I just can't.
just comes out. You can't control.
I've offended a lot of werewolves.
We're going on September 22nd. It's a Sunday, and that front of the line pass is $170 that night on top of your $89 ticket to get into house.
It's not that bad, actually. It gets much worse, doesn't it?
Horror Nights is only $89 to go that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not terrible.
Cheaper. And they are certain nights you can get annual pass discounts for those. But we're taking Amy's sister and her mom, her 79-year-old mother, to Halloween Horror Nights. So I may film that. That might be, we might kill her by accident. But.
Oh, no.
Doesn't sound like an accident to me.
To wrap things up real quick on this, I just wanted to touch on just Disney Vacation Club availability this time of year and kind of the fact that it is harder to get into these rooms, specifically once we get into the later September through October, November. This is definitely the season that Disney Vacation Club members become members for. You also are dealing with a lot of people that are members in the northern part of the country where it's gotten colder and maybe fall break comes around and you want to come down to Florida for fall break, or it starts to get chilly, perhaps snow, any of those type of things are reasons why people would come here.
As soon as September hits, you've got, September, October, November, December, you've got holidays, you've got low point charts for a lot of that. You've got you've got festivals, so there's so many reasons, to come. So
and I will have people literally every single week, if not almost every single day, they will either join or add on points at the boardwalk or the beach club, specifically just to be able to book there during the Food and Wine Festival. So they might not buy like a 500 point contract, but they might say, hey, you know what? I'm looking for 100 points just because I want that 11-month window so I could book there for 3 nights or maybe for 4 nights. So yeah, that's a huge reason that people do that, because once you've ever done it, if you've ever stayed at the boardwalk or beach club during a festival time, like a popular festival, there is no better feeling than looking over that bridge on the International Gateway and saying, oh my God, when we're done, we just get to walk right back to our room. I swear to God, every time I'm there and I'm not staying there, I'm always like, God, I wish we were just walking back to our room at the board.
Yeah.
Well, I feel the same way about Mickey's Not So Scary, because that thing ends at like midnight or 1 o'clock or something. And I lucked into a Boulder Ridge room that night. I booked it while we were at the tree houses. And so just take the boat back after trick-or-treating. And
we're at Boulder Ridge at night too.
We're all at Boulder Ridge.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
Panda, Derek, join the party.
I wanna. The night of the 13th?
Join us.
The night you guys are going, we're going all going to.
We got more bets.
All right. When we end this, I'll break and go check real quick.
I do want to give an honorable mention to, we're talking about festivals and things around this holiday season time. We have not done it yet, but I swear we're going to. The Food and Wine Classic at Swan and Dolphin. It is around $200 a person, but it is all you can want to eat. So you pay that price, and then you go and you can sample as much as you want from the food booths, the drink booths. It is. We watched it from afar.
Yeah, we did
last year, and I was like, I want to go there. That party is hopping. It just looks so good, and the food options look really good. So that's something to consider.
Yep. This year it is November 15th and November 16th. They do have some package specials where if you were to actually stay at the Swan or Dolphin, you can get a room there plus tickets to the event. So they call it like the 2-night bundle, where you can get tickets to, both nights of the classic plus get a hotel there. But just a single night ticket to the event, looks like Friday night is $195.
Yeah.
That seems a little more reasonable than I remember it being in the past.
If you think about what you pay for a Halloween party, and then this is all you can eat and drink.
Well, and more so food and wine. Think about, to Derek's point, how quickly you load that $200 gift card up and you make it halfway around World Showcase and you've spent it all.
Yeah.
Here, this is unlimited for that cost.
This might be a no, but do you have the ability to pull that picture over? It is so cool looking. The one at the top there. Oh, that was just there. Great. Scroll down.
That's a video.
No, never mind. It must have been a video.
Yeah, that's a video.
They have this. It is so cool. The way they light things up, and it's just it looks like a really neat experience. We need to go.
We may do it this year.
Doesn't it take place like right on that walkway, like kind of in between the resorts? Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's really pretty.
We may have to do that. If you have been down here in the Orlando area for fall or this time of year and experienced other kind of events or things around town, let us know. Those of us that are locals down here, we are all relatively new locals, and we want fun things to do and fun things to explore in the Orlando area. Or if you're local yourself and you've done some more events that happen around Orlando, let us know in the comments. We'd love to share it with you guys in an article or potentially a future video. We'll go check it out and kind of share what all there is to do during the fall and Halloween season down here in Orlando. But that's going to do it for kind of why we love everything food and wine, fall, Disney, all that kind of fun stuff. If you enjoyed this, please, as always, hit that like button, subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, and hit the notifications bell so that you get all of the videos. We do not just do these podcast shows on Monday. We do other fun videos. Panda recently has been doing a series that has been kind of nighttime at the Disney Vacation Club resorts. He recently did Bay Lake Tower, just kind of walking around at night, showing
I
you
think
kind
Boardwalk
of the,
is next.
Yeah.
Ambiance. Yeah.
The ambiance, which can be spelled 2 different ways, Panda and I learned. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, and Jeff Haslam recently did a tour of, was it a 2-bedroom, Jeff? At
2-bedroom at Animal Kingdom, Kidani.
Animal Kingdom Kidani. So we're putting up some more content for you guys because apparently you guys enjoy this crazy crew and the stuff that we do. So we will continue to do that. So hit the notification bell so that you get notifications every time that one of those new videos go up. But for you podcast listeners out there, we'll see you next Monday.